So often when people are looking to drop body fat, they ask me questions like, can I do something? Can I eat in the evening? Can I have sugar in moderation? Can I do this? Can I do that? The truth is, there's really no true rules to fat loss other than eat in a calorie deficit. There's just some things that are more helpful than others, but there's literally thousands of ways to do this stuff and get results. Now I know why you ask these questions, because all the diets you've followed over the years all have certain rules that you must follow. With keto, you have to eat mostly fat and barely any carbs. With carnivore, you have to eat mostly meat and practically nothing else. If you're just given meal plans to eat, you have to eat what's on that list and can't eat what's off the list. With intermittent fasting, you have to eat during a certain window of time. With vegan, you can't eat animal products. Now let me be very clear, there's a lot of people who do vegan dieting because of ethical reasons, which I actually highly respect. However, let's be honest, a lot of people do it because they think it's going to be the thing that helps them lose weight. None of these diets are necessarily bad. As long as you like it and can sustain it, then that's great. But the more rules your diet has, the more likely you are to rebel against it, and the less likely you are to be able to sustain it and keep doing it in the long run. And if you can't keep doing it in the long run, your diet's going to fail and you're eventually going to regain any weight loss anyways and end up starting over. So I promise, there's no magic diets out there. You have to stop looking for the diet that works for you, thinking that one of them is just going to be something that clicks with your body and all of a sudden now you can start seeing results. The truth is, they all work as long as you stick with it and stop giving up. But again, there's only one rule for fat loss, and all these diets follow that one rule, and that is you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. Now I know you might get that confused. It's very common, especially the calories in versus calories out thing. I'm going to explain what that means at the end of this video, but the rest of what I'm about to share you would be things that I would consider to be pretty optimal, good ways to do things that will be helpful, but nothing is a must to lose body fat. And the number one most important thing is sustainability. I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face, until it finally clicks in. You have to do something that you can keep doing for the rest of your life. Now, it doesn't mean there aren't some things about your fat loss phase that will be temporary, like your lower calories, like doing extra cardio and whatever it may be, but you can never just be done. You can't just do a program and just follow it until you lose the weight and then just go back to the way things were. You will gain the weight back. You will have to start over. It's going to be harder every time you restart because you keep slowing down your metabolism, and it's a disaster waiting to happen. So don't do something that you think is going to be this magic solution if you're not realistically going to be able to stick to the plan. After that, a high protein diet is leaps and bounds more effective than pretty much any other diet out there. It's got so many benefits between the high thermic effect of food, which basically means it's how many calories your body burns just processing the food you eat. It's what builds and maintains muscle mass. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, the more it helps with body composition. It helps you feel full when calories get lower so you're not so hungry. So while you can certainly lose body fat without a high protein diet, I'm not saying you can't, it's just going to be easier. You're going to be less hungry. You're going to be able to eat more food. So I recommend aiming for around 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight if you don't have too much weight to lose. If you're more on the obese side, you can use something like a goal weight to get this equation. Don't get too caught up in it. The point is, try to get that protein number up and do not lower your protein as you lose weight in a fat loss phase. Keep that up to get those benefits. When it comes to exercise, strength training is your best help here. Way superior to cardio. And this is something that so many people struggle with. Maybe it's always been you. It's just always doing tons of cardio and just ignoring strength training or just barely doing any, and you're not utilizing the thing that's going to help you the most. Part of it can be because you get a little too tied up on the scale number, and you have to understand scale weight and body fat are not one of the same, and if you build muscle, that's going to put some weight on your frame, but you're not looking to change a number on the scale. You're looking to change your body. Who cares what the number says if you have a body you want, right? So strength training, not only, yes, does it burn calories during the exercise, and while cardio typically does burn more during the exercise itself, it doesn't really get the afterburn effect that strength training does. We're up to 24 to even 48 hours post-training, as your body's recovering from this, your body continues to burn more calories above its normal baseline, so you get more benefit out of it. Not to mention, when you build muscle, the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, so it helps there as well. And if you are a woman, do not be afraid of building muscle and getting bulky. It's not going to happen by accident. If you want to get the body you say you want, doing everything you can to get bulky is probably going to get you the look you want. So don't be afraid of it. Now, don't take that as me saying that cardio isn't beneficial. It has health benefits. It does burn some extra calories. It's a good thing to utilize, but utilize a combination of strength training and cardio. I usually recommend about 3 to 5 days for optimal strength training to get the best results. But even if you're only doing like 2 sessions a week, you can still make progress on that, especially if you're someone new. And then sprinkling in some extra cardio with that can be helpful in combination. Another important thing for fat loss is to not lose weight too quickly. You want to keep your weight loss to about 1% of your body weight or less. Usually I say about 0.7 to 1%, maybe a 0.5%. Some of it depends on how much weight you have to lose. If you're very lean, you're not going to lose very quickly. But the point is, the faster you lose weight, the more likely you are to lose more than just body fat and start sacrificing things like muscle. Your metabolism is going to crash faster. You're not going to be able to enjoy as much food. You're going to be hungrier. You're going to be more tired. You're going to be more cranky. It's just going to be really hard to stick with things and not be miserable. If you're someone who's crashed out in the past, you can probably attest to that while you may lose weight fast in the beginning stages, you eventually hit plateaus, you get stuck, you're already barely even eating, doing tons of exercise, there's no room to get things going again, and now you just say, well, screw it, it's not worth it, you end up giving up, and you also know how fast that weight can come back on, and then some, and it's just a disaster waiting to happen, especially if you keep going up and down over and over and over, you just run your metabolism into the ground. So you need to be patient here and take your time and not lose too fast. Another thing that I would say is optimal for fat loss is tracking your intake. Am I saying that you have to track to see results? No. But if you're tracking and you know how much you're eating and you're being consistent with it, when you do hit plateaus, you know how to make adjustments to your intake to get the process working again, and you know versus just trying to like eat clean and then things stall, and then what do you do at that point? All that being said, consistency is key. None of this stuff matters if you can't be consistent. That's why I say sustainability is number one. You can't just give yourself a certain amount of calories that you should be eating, call that your target, and then say that's what you're eating, but then completely blow it out on the weekends and just not pay attention and start eating a bunch of stuff and not accounting for it. You have to be accurate with this. Even if you aren't tracking, consistency is still the name of the game. It doesn't mean perfection. Perfection is the enemy, and you need to be okay with some balance and flexibility. And as you hear me say all the time, the all or nothing mindset will keep you stuck forever. Now, I mentioned that calories in versus calories out is highly misunderstood, that you have to be in a calorie deficit to be able to lose. And if this is something that's confused you, I want you to check out this top video next, and I'll explain what all goes into both the calories in and calories outside of the equation. It's not just as simple as how many calories you eat or how many calories you burn from exercise. It's complex, but I'll break that down for you. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead, and I'll see you in one of those other videos.